in the year 2023. It's late March and Leo Brouwer just turned 84 years old at the beginning of the month. And throughout his long, productive life, he has written a large number of concerto pieces for guitar and orchestra. Besides the concertos, there's the three danzas concertantes, and also there is this orchestration of Beatles songs called From Yesterday to Penny Lane. And so far that I know, there are 12 guitar concertos written by Leo Brouwer up to this date. With the exception of the first concerto, all of the remaining have a subtitle. And so concerto number 2 is Concierto de Lieja. Number 3, Concierto Elegiaco. Number 4, Concierto de Toronto. Number 5, Concierto de Helsinki. Number 6, Concierto de Volos. Number 7, Concierto de La Habana. Number 8, Concierto Cantata de Perugia, which is for chorus, guitar and orchestra. Number 9, Concierto de Benicassim. Number 10 is called The Book of Signs and is for 2 guitars and orchestra. Number 11 is called Concierto de Requiem in Memoriam Toru Takemitsu. And number 12 is Concierto Austral. In the same fashion as most of guitar works by Leo Brouwer that were dedicated to a different important guitarist every time, the concertos have been written for an important guitarist every time. It's very interesting to me the sequence that is between concertos numbers 2, 3 and 4. Number 2 written for the great Greek guitarist Kostas Kotsioulis. Number 3 written for the British guitarist Julian Bream. And number 4 written for the Australian British guitarist John Williams. The opportunity for Leo Brouwer to write this concerto for Julian Bream is because of a British musicologist and producer of the British Broadcasting Corporation, BBC, called Gareth Walters. He is the one that came with the idea of combining the talents of Leo Brouwer and Julian Bream. and he made possible that they together worked for the premiere of the work with one of the BBC orchestras, and also for them to do the premiere recording of the work with another BBC orchestra for RCA. Within a short time, Leo Brouwer wrote his first guitar sonata and dedicated it to Julian Bream. And by the way, this first sonata shares some interesting artistic points of view with the Concierto Elegiaco. And that's how the friendship of Leo Brouwer and Julian Bream began and lasted until the death of Bream.
For music lovers and professional, guitarists included, of course, sadness arrived today. The great Julian Bream is dead.
Brouwer uses a very transparent orchestra in order to make the guitar shine bubble. It's based only on strings and a few percussion instruments just as a color touch. The percussion set is based on timbales, marimba, glockenspiel, and caisse claire. As Leo Brouwer often does, he quotes some other of his works. Here in particular, he quotes the Estudios Sencillos, one in the third movement in the middle slow section. And also he quotes it in the second movement. As a tribute to the Renaissance Elizabethan music, in particular that Julian Bream used to play with his concert. music that has influence in the concerto is the Indonesian music of Gamelan. The main musical developing of the work is among the external movements, the first and the third, whilst the second is more like a bridge between those two movements, this little Elizabethan homage. The semitone interval plays a big role in the thematic development of the first movement, for example in the dramatic beginning of the strings. As well as one of the themes that is introduced by the guitar. There are these two development sections in the concerto, both in the first and in the third movement. That play with the minimalism, even seeming aleatory music at certain points, but everything is written in the concerto. And Brouwer uses these techniques to make the guitar speak as in a dialogue, as people speak. Look, this is like this, do you realize? It's like I said, and also like this. Like an explanation in a dialogue. And don't forget about this. And remember also that another thing. And in a very neoclassical way, he repeats both of these passages in the first movement and the third movement. A fourth above or a fifth below. In the same way that was in the classicism and late Baroque and Romanticism, but those structures in the past were very anthropomorphic. That is to say, the human body is like this, well, let's do a sonata like this. Or used to be also very based in the architectural. But Brouwer says that he rather prefers to inspire in the nature. For example, in how a leaf of a tree is built. So his minimalism seems to be aleatory, but it's more that it plays with the inspiration on the nature. Pretty cool, huh? So the concerto is very cyclical, I would say, and even almost symmetrical, with material from the first movement returning in the third one. I had the privilege to attend the Mexican premiere of Concierto Elegiaco. I have here the program, That Mexican premiere was on Sunday, October 27th, 1996. At the Silvestre Revueltas Auditorium of the National Music Conservatory of Mexico, my school back then. And that Mexican premiere was given by my teacher, Marco Antonio Anguiano, at the guitar, with the Orquesta Sinfónica Carlos Chávez, and they were conducted by Eduardo Díaz Muñoz. Well, I really like this Concierto Elegiaco because it involves a very mature mixture of the last periods up to that point in the life of Leo Brouwer, and it places him as a great exponent of minimalism incorporated as another element of his eclectic musical discourse.